Albert Pujols will be in this year's Home Run Derby. The machine gets one more crack at a title.
Also, the Cardinals are already in trade rumors, but it's not the rumor you might expect. We'll discuss all of that and more on today's Tuesday episode of Locked On Cardinals.
You are Locked On Cardinals, your daily St. Louis Cardinals podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hello and welcome to the Locked On Cardinals podcast for Tuesday, July the 12th of 2022. I'm Lucas Smith. Along with me, as always, is JD Haffron. Happy Tuesday. Another Victory Tuesday, JD, as the Cardinals able to get a win yesterday.
Yes. Gosh, winning's fun, isn't it, Lucas?
It is
so
fun, yeah.
good. Now, before we get into all of the Cardinal talk, what was more fun, having the Cardinals win again against Philadelphia or celebrating your birthday yesterday, which we kind of glossed over during the show? On the playback, I'm like, wait, he did say that, hi, yeah, I'm 22 today. Yesterday was your birthday. Happy birthday, Lucas.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it. The big 22. Some people call it the Taylor Swift year. I did not listen to Taylor Swift at all yesterday, so maybe I didn't do it right. But I was able to go home and celebrate with family. Got to go to the driving range, got some pizza. You know, it wasn't as wild as 21, but 22 is still super fun, and it was a good time, so I appreciate it.
You usually don't get too wild again until probably 30, and then it's done, dude. So
Yeah.
you got a long way to go. So you're doing fine. Let me ask you this real quick. Pizza wise, what do you get on the pizza? You went out for golf and pizza last night. What's your toppings? Are you a weirdo with all the peppers and stuff, or do you keep it basic?
I think I'm a hybrid because I got pizza, pepperoni, and black and green olives. I like olives on my
that's
pizza.
good.
So some people think that that's like outer space weird, and some people are like you, were like, yeah, that makes sense. So I like both olives, and it works out well because my twin brother likes black olives, and I like green olives. And I like both, but like he doesn't like green olives. So when we were growing up, we would get half black, half green, and it would be perfect. We'd each get a couple slices, call it good. But we've expanded our palates a little bit. We like a little more things now, so we got a couple different slices of different pizzas. So it was a good time.
Yeah. The olives add the saltiness to it, so that's not too outside the box. It's not anchovy weird, so
Right.
I'm glad you're good there. All right, man. How about a home run derby announcement? Yesterday, Albert Pujols is set to appear in his 5th home run derby event. Do you remember him being in 4 of them already? I remembered like 2 or 3, and then I was like, wait a minute, there's another one that snuck in there. He lost to Garrett Anderson back in 2003 in the finals when they were in Chicago. Made it to the semifinals in 2007 when Vladimir Guerrero won it in San Francisco. He got bounced in the semis again in 2009 at Busch. That's when Prince Fielder won it. And then he lost in the semis again in 2015 when Todd Frazier took the title in Cincinnati. Do you have a favorite memory of Albert Pujols in a home run derby?
I really don't remember any of his as a Cardinal, because his oldest one as a Cardinal, you mentioned 2009. I was 9 years old then, so I don't really remember a whole lot. I remember looking at that replays and highlights and things. What I remember about the one at Chicago, really about the All-Star thing at Chicago, was Albert facing Finch. The first name escapes me. The softball pitcher. She was pitching Jenny Finch. Thank you. Yeah, she was pitching it, and she struck out Albert on like 3 pitches at his chest or something like that. So that's not a great memory, but I'm excited. We talk about the All-Star game being entertainment, right? And that's a big reason why Albert and Miguel Cabrera, like their stats okay, but it's entertainment. It's for the fan. It's all these things. Home run derby is the same thing. Now, Albert might go out there and hit 3 home runs, or he might go out there and win the whole thing. I could see it going both ways. Maybe that's me, my Cardinal glasses on, but I really can see it going both ways. And I'm excited for Albert to get a send-off Monday and Tuesday with the derby and the game. One final hurrah for the machine.
Yeah, so his 5th time that he'll be performing in the home run derby, 0 for 4. So he hasn't won yet, but maybe this will be the time that he takes. It's going to be tough, though, because they've only announced half the field so far, so just the National League side of things. So you've got the 2-time defending champ, Pete Alonso from the Mets. He's back, and that dude just cranks bombs. So it's going to be tough. Braves outfielder Ronald Acuna Jr. is in it. Nationals outfielder Juan Soto also signed up for the NL side. Now, as far as the American League side, I'm sure we'll get the names either today or tomorrow, but as of us recording this, they haven't released them yet. Is there anybody in the American League off the top of your head that you would love to see in this year's Home Run Derby?
I think the easy answer is Shohei. Shohei Ohtani would be a blast. Vladimir Guerrero Jr., those are the two. Before Alvarez got put on the IL, I would have loved to see Yordan Alvarez get a crack at it. I just think the Derby's so much fun. You know, it's in my opinion, it's more exciting than the skills competition of the NBA. You know, obviously, you could make an argument that dunk contest and three-point are different, but the Derby to me is just super fun to watch because home runs are sexy, right? Like chicks did the long ball. That's the old saying, right? So you get to see a bunch of home runs, especially when these guys are hitting it, to the level of a Pete Alonso or Josh Hamilton from 10, 12 years ago, things of that nature. So you have a lot of fun, a lot of different options, too, in the AL side. Those are just the couple that I mentioned. You got anybody else that you got your eye on in the AL?
Well, definitely Shohei, or I thought it'd be cool to see Trout. I don't know if that's something he'd be into.
Yeah.
What about the big boys in New York, Judge and Stanton?
That's a good
I would love to see those monsters slam the ball around a little bit. Also, how about Byron Buxton from the Twins? Like, he's somebody who I feel like he would be really, really good in one of these events because he's not really one of those guys that hits for average or anything in a regular game. But, man, he hits some tank shots when he's playing. So I feel like he'd be somebody that would be interesting to watch. And he's one of those young hybrid talents that he's got the speed and the power, and he's not just some big mammoth guy just up there. Like, I just feel like he'd be a good one to check out. So those are some decent names that could be in the Home Run Derby on Monday night, but you got the National League side, and I'm sure we'll all be pulling for Albert when he finally gets to step up to the plate that night in Los Angeles.
Yeah, there's no doubt. Albert, when he hits home runs, they're just so cool to watch. I don't know. I was talking to somebody yesterday. I think it might have mentioned this in the show or not, whatever. When Albert hit his home run on Sunday, I think I talked about it. Just the way he knew it, the way he just flipped the bat, it just brought back memories. Is what it did. When I saw Albert stand and watch that home run on Sunday, it brought back memories of the 2 walk-off home runs in a row against the Cubs in 2011. It brought off memories of the 3 home runs in the 2011 World Series. It brought off memories of me watching highlights of the 3 home run game in 2004 at Wrigley. All these different things.
Before you go on to it, don't say Brad Lidge because he might be watching, and you're really going to put him into just that mess of a head that he got after the fact that Pujols knocked it out of Houston. That's one of the greatest home runs I've ever seen. Like I was as excited about that home run as I was for like the World Series home runs that you mentioned. Like that was just such a moment, and it was so cool. And then he does that one thing where he just like holds his arm out after he hits him.
Yeah, he got his left hand up. He's got it.
Yeah, it's so good. And because you talked about how it reminded you of home runs of previous years, I wore the old school Tom Lawless.
Hey,
let me get it over here. There you go.
Yeah.
So the old school batting jersey from the 80s, awesome. Tom Lawless style. And you know what else I forgot about Tom Lawless? How good his mustache was.
He did have a good mustache. He had a great mustache.
I had to go back into the files and look it up, and I was like, here's the Tom Lawless one. And that dude was as little as us, bro. Like, he's a small guy, and then he mashes it like he thought he was Albert Pujols before there was an Albert Pujols. Like, he thought he hit it 800 feet in the air, and it was just an awesome moment. So I actually put that, if you are watching Locked On Cardinals on YouTube, yesterday's show, I've got the link to the Tom Lawless home run posted down there for everybody.
Love it. That's awesome. That was a big home run. But yeah, the Lidge home run, the one that Albert hit off of Lidge, that one's probably still traveling. I don't know if that one's come back down into orbit yet because Albert sent that one. Like, Jorge Soler's home run in the World Series last year reminded everybody of the Albert home run because Soler's home run was a bomb. Like, don't get me wrong. In Game 6, I think it was. But Albert's was just on another level, and it goes to, like, it's a microcosm of his whole career. A lot of people do great things, but what Albert did in St. Louis is another level. He's on his own because you also saw him pass Dan Musial for most extra base hits of all time. Or he's third now of extra base hits. I don't know if he'll catch anybody else, but you just see him continue to mash. And there was times this season, at least so far, that we talked about a little bit, that it was starting to get painful to watch him hit a little bit. But now he's got a couple of 2-hit games. He had the 3-hit game that we talked about on yesterday's show. It's a beauty to watch him hit, and we only have less than half a season left with him, JD. So we got to cherish it while we can. And I'm super pumped to watch the Derby on Monday. I cannot wait. You got any Derby watching superstitions or plans or anything? Because I'll be tuned in on Monday night.
Honestly, probably pizza. That's my go-to sports food. I love it. I don't have to leave my couch. I just go pick it up right there at the door, and I don't. It's fantastic. So I'll probably do that. Order in and do my best to root on the machine that night.
Absolutely. Well, if you're still looking for food on that night, JD, but you're looking for maybe something a little bit healthier, I would encourage Built Bar, because from the people who invented the healthy and tasty Built Bar comes the latest gift to your taste buds. You probably think that Built Bar has outdone themselves every time they make a new flavor. They've done it again with the Coconut Brownie Chunk Puff. Your friends at Built Bar have done it again. The Coconut Brownie Chunk Bar flavor you will love. I've ordered it already. It's a delicious new chewy marshmallow covered in 100% real chocolate. It's like a fluffy cloud of coconut brownie goodness. Stop drooling for a minute and just listen. They're good for you too. It's not just the taste buds. They're low calorie, low sugar, high protein, and all delicious. Coconut Brownie Chunk Puffs are the only here for a limited time. So go to Built.com now to make sure you don't miss out. They are going fast because they taste amazing. All Built Bars are made with collagen protein, which your body absorbs more efficiently and provides a ton of health benefits. And even though it tastes good, it's still good for you. So, delicious coconut, rich, sweet brownie, creamy marshmallow. It's all real. Stop fantasizing and get to Built.com to order your box of coconut brownie chunk Built Puffs right now, and use the promo code LOCKED15 to save 15%. You get something that's tasty, you get something that's good for you, and you save a little bit of money. Promo code LOCKED15 to get 15% off your order. Use promo code LOCKED15 at checkout at Built.com. Cardinals were able to get a win yesterday, JD. We talked about it in the open, a victory Tuesday. Very, very exciting day for the Cardinals yesterday.
Yeah, by the way, the Sage is now 2-0.
Yes.
Michaelis, and it's getting a life. If this continues, it's going to be a thing. National people are just going to start picking up on this. But Michaelis, fantastic again. Cardinals bottom half of the lineup tells us to stick it, Lucas, as they lead the team to a win in a series split against Philly. Now, let me just put this out there for you, okay? Just bear with me.
All right.
If I told you that Tommy Edman, Juan Yepez, Paul Goldschmidt, and Nolan Gorman would go 0 for 15, and that Nolan Arenado would not play at all, and the Cardinals would still win, what would you think?
I would tell you to wake up from your dream. Is really what I would tell you. I mean, that 0 for 15 from those guys and no Arenado, forget about it. Forget about it.
Yeah. If somebody told me that, I'd call you a liar right to your face. But that is what happened last night. Dylan Carlson, I don't know how many shows ago that we started saying, hey, Dylan needs to start doing his thing, and he's been doing it. He looked great again last night. Corey Dickerson, 2 for 3 with a dinger and 3 RBIs. Pujols gets that double. You mentioned he passed Stan Musial on the all-time extra base hits list, and that ball was a centimeter from going over the wall.
Albert wanted it too. Albert wanted it to go. You could see him looking at the replay and his reaction. I don't know if you saw the video.
He's like pointed out there. He's like, what?
And then he was talking to the second or third baseman, or maybe it was Bohm who was over there on the shift and tapped his hat down because he wanted 685 so bad.
Yeah, so close. Edmundo Sosa with a big hit to keep that rally going in the 5th inning. Kisner, he bloops one in. Nootbaar goes yard as well after he pinch hits for, it was Yepez later on in the game. So all of these names, guys that I don't want to speak for you, Lucas, but I talked smack about in the last couple of episodes, are all stepping up. And, it was a full team effort last night by the bottom half of the Cardinals lineup, doing what they needed to do to get a victory against a very good pitcher in Austin Nola.
Yeah, you're going to need days like this, and when your offense is down, it's banged up, or it's tired. I mean, that's why we didn't see Goldschmidt start on Sunday. That's why we didn't see Arenado yesterday, because it's been a long stretch of baseball, and they don't have a day off. Arenado won't have a day off until next Wednesday because he's in the All-Star game. Same thing with Goldschmidt. Yep. So you're going to need guys to step up. And we haven't been seeing it. And I'll put in my 2 cents. Well, JD, I won't let you take the only bullet. I was done with Sosa. I was done with Kisner, obviously, as well. Or honestly, done with Dickerson. Like all these guys, I was like, man, I've been pulling for him for so long. I don't know what else I can do for you. I don't know what other silver lining I can show for you. But at least for a day, at least for one day, They proved us wrong, and you and I were, I think you asked the question, who should we talk about next to get going? Because they must be listening or have something out for us or something, because they stepped up in a big way. I mean, Carlson 2 hits, Carlson 3, Dickerson 2, and like you mentioned, against Nola, who went 7 innings but gave up 5 earned runs, his ERA jumped 20 points. That's a good day for an offense when you can get 5 runs off of Nola.
Yeah, and also speaking of Dylan Carlson doing something different, he bunted for a single.
Did.
And like any other, usually the joke was online that all the old guys are watching right now are all clapping because somebody finally bunted against the shift and got a hit. Well, yeah. Did you see how easy it looked? I don't know why nobody tries it. And here's the other side of it, too. When you try it, at least they got to kind of play you that way where it's a possibility. When you never do it, they don't care. They're going to stay on the shift as far possible to the other side of the field and take away more of your singles. So I was so happy to see that Carlson laid one down. And seeing Dickerson. Now, something I want to say about Dickerson, too, and I realized it earlier in the season, and then he got hurt right when he was starting to kind of warm up just a little bit, and then he hurt his calf. But that guy is built like tank-wise. He really takes care of himself. And his first at-bat against Nola, it looked like all he wanted to do was hit it 550 feet. Like he was taking these wild swings, and he wasn't even close. And then Nola, for some reason, and they talked about it on the broadcast, throws him a changeup. And he deposits it into the seats. Like, I have no idea why they went away from the fastball there, and it made no real sense at all. But Dickerson stepped up, and it was nice to see, because if you can get any sort of production from him and Nootbaar as that left-handed bat, whether off the bench or when they do have to start once in a while, that's huge for this lineup, who has a lot of right-handed hitters in it.
That's a good point, but I'm gonna go a different route with it. If these guys can get hot or can start showing that they can produce, you get some trade pieces, JD. You can start getting guys that you can throw in saying, hey, Dickerson's starting to find it. You want him? Or, hey, Nootbaar is a fan favorite. Your crowd's going to love him, right? All that stuff. And he's going to hit a home run. And he'll run into a home run every once in a while. So then you start getting some trade traction. Well, we'll talk about a weird rumor coming up in segment number 3, but both routes are true, but both of them can be true whether the Cardinals stand pat or otherwise, because when oNeil and Bader come back, you're going to need bench pieces, and Dickerson and Nootbaar will be that. Maybe Nootbaar goes back to Memphis, but still you'll need depth, and that's exactly what the Cardinals might be getting. And again, it's one game, don't want to freak out, but you're totally right that Dickerson was looking a little bit better before his calf, and if Nootbaar can get going, because he's already a fan favorite, so if he can get going and be a fan favorite, it's a win. So that's a huge thing. And you mentioned mustaches. Miles Michaelis was on his game yesterday again, with at least on the mound.
Yeah, Mr. Steady throwing a ton of pitches in the first inning, and everybody's like, uh-oh, this isn't good. Settles down, throws 6 1/3 shutout innings after the Hoskins home run in the first. ERA now at 2.62, which is 7th in the National League, 11th overall in Major League Baseball. He grabs his 6th win of the season. The guy's been a rock. He's been an absolute rock, and has been one of the best pitchers in baseball. I really am. The more I think about it, I'm hoping that somebody backs out of the All-Star game and Michaelis can slide in, because he deserves it, I think. I definitely think he should be at that game in L.A.
I agree. And like we talked about yesterday a little bit, where you're going to have somebody back out just because they have to. Like an All-Star is going to pitch on Sunday, and they're going to be unavailable on Tuesday, right? So Michaelis started Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday would be start. So you could go on 3 days rest, right? Maybe 4. Obviously, you'll have to talk to Marmol and Maddox and see what you want to game plan for the rest of the second half. But also you look at it where you have 2 off days the week after the All-Star break. So you could maneuver it a little bit if you wanted to try and get Michaelis in there, because he totally deserves it. You got the near no-hitter that he threw, the complete game loss that he pitched against Tampa Bay in the game that lasted under 2 hours, and you just, the start yesterday against the Phillies lineup that was really hitting, or at least, more than they had been earlier in the season. That's a deadly lineup even without Bryce Harper. I totally agree. And maybe he can burn some sage for the NL All-Star team, and the NL team can get a win, because I felt like forever the story was the NL team can't win, so maybe Michaelis can help them on 2 fronts of getting the NL All-Stars a win.
Maybe. I don't want to be selfish, but I keep that sage for the Cardinals, man. We need it more than that. That game don't mean nothing anymore. But I would love to see Michaelis there, because he's been through a lot, and to see him come back this season and pitch the way he has, I got nothing but respect for the guy. He's been fantastic. And also when you think about the people, as we mentioned yesterday, where he he's only got 6 wins, whatever. He's going up against everybody's ace. It seems like they broke it down last night on the telecast and about all the pitchers he's had to go up against and has been right there pitch for pitch with them. Just doesn't get the win. So it's not all about wins and losses when it comes to the starting pitchers. Bullpen 0 runs again. Had to be impressed with Cabrera and Fernandez. You know what I like best about those two guys? It's just their attitudes and just the way they are, their energy when they're on the mound. Like seeing Fernandez do his excited fist pump and how jacked up he was after he got the final out. Like, I love that stuff. I think it's great. As long as you're not showing up like the other hitter or something, I think it's fantastic. I love seeing the emotion in the game.
And if you have the results to back it up, right? Like Fernandez haven't given up an earned run. Cabrera's ERA set to 2.16. He had the 4-inning outing against Chicago that saved the day. These guys have the stuff and the results to back up that emotion, right? Like that's why I think one of the big knocks against Harrison Bader was early in his career. You're hitting 220 or 205, and you're acting like you're a 400 hitter, showing all the emotion, hair flying, the whatever. Whenever he starts producing, you hear a lot less chatter about that aspect of his game, right? Yeah. But I agree. I love the way Cabrera hops off the mound after a strikeout. Sometimes he'll do it when he thinks he's got a backwards K, and then he's got to walk back to the mound. But it's still super fun. It's just like it reminds me a little bit of the way Randy Johnson would point, or Dennis Eckersley would do the fist bump after a strikeout. Yeah. It's their thing, right? It gets them in the moment. I'm not, again, before anybody freaks out, I'm not saying Cabrera's on the level of Johnson or Eckersley. It's just a little. You
comparison. Just said Genesis Cabrera is the next Randy Johnson. Everybody heard you.
It's a good point. You're right. I think now that I said that out loud, you're 100% right. But anyways, it was a good day with the bullpen. And I wasn't watching, I'll be honest, birthday celebrations. I was checking in and out. You have any expertise or why Cabrera was taken out with an out in the 9th inning?
I think it was just matchups. To be honest,
that's what I thought.
I think that's all it was. He threw 22 pitches, and I think it was just matchups. They had the righties coming up, and with a 5-run lead, that's okay. You don't need to leave them in there. Let guys like Fernandez, let these guys get some work. I mean, they've been doing very, very well. Let's keep them going, man. Roll them out there. They're now 2 games back of the Brewers in the Central, and just a fraction out of the wild card behind the Phillies. So things are looking up for the Cardinals. Just think about it. 2 days ago, we're all like, man, we're in trouble. Now we're doing all right. The momentum is increasing, if you will, Lucas.
Baseball's a beautiful thing like that. Baseball, you get wrapped up in it sometimes. Baseball is a beautiful thing when you can go from season over to World Series hopefuls in 3 days.
Yeah. Speaking of increasing, with the ever-increasing numbers of makes and models, it's now impossible for your local chain auto parts store to stock all the parts you need. Why endure often pointless or seemingly intimidating questioning? Lucas, you get it all the time when they ask you about your Lamborghini. I know you do. You've told me about it. And then you got to stand there all nervous like you did something wrong and wait while the person behind the counter bangs on the keys and orders the parts on their computer, choosing the only brand that their warehouse happens to carry. You've got computers with access to RockAuto.com at home and in your pocket, so why don't you use it? Save time and money when using Rock Auto. I choose to spend 30%, 50%, even 100% more for the same parts from a chain store or car dealership. Be smart. Don't do it. Rock Auto is a family business serving do-it-yourselfers for over 20 years. They have everything you could need: brake parts, tail lamps, motor oil, even new carpet. Didn't you say you were in the market for something that you needed, like a tail light or a headlight or something recently?
I need a front left headlight. It's been bothering me for a while, so I'll be using RockAuto.com, believe me.
There you go. Explore their easy-to-use website today to find the solution to your auto part needs, rockauto.com. And right now, if you go there, you can see all the parts available for your car or truck, right? Locked On in there. How did you hear about us box? So they know we sent you. Amazing selection, reliably low prices, all the parts your car will ever need, rockauto.com.
Big playoff test this week with the Los Angeles Dodgers in town. The Dodgers currently at 56-29, first place in the West, best division in the National League, 9-1 in their last 10, 7-game winning streak. Oh, look, the Dodgers are good again. Shocking, right? But the Cardinals and Phillies currently minuscule points apart. They're tied games behind wise in that third wild card. So this is a big series for the Cardinals, a big test. It starts tonight with Liberatore on the mound for the Cardinals. Wainwright gets the ball tomorrow against Tony Gonsolin, who has yet to get a loss on this season. And then Thursday night, Dakota Hudson gets the ball against Anderson for the Dodgers, who has 9 wins. So there's no sugarcoating it, JD. This could be a long 3 days. A tough.
Yeah, this isn't going to be easy, but that's what you like, this kind of competition. You want the best to come to town. That's who you want to play. That's why these guys put on the uniform, and you're going to get it because these guys are no joke, man. You are getting Mitch White tonight. You mentioned Gonsolin, who's 11-0, then Tyler Anderson, 9-1. And these are their, like, I would say Gonsolin, I guess he's risen up in their depth chart as far as one of the top pitchers, but I would still put him as number 3. You're not even going to have to see Kershaw or Urias. Walker Buehler's out. He's hurt. Andrew Heaney's hurt. Dustin May's out. And they're still this amazing. Like, they're incredible. They've got a pen without Blake Trinan and Daniel Hudson, but they're still outstanding. And, offensively, they're just all-stars all over the place. Mookie Betts, Trey Turner, Freddie Freeman, Cody Bellinger, Max Muncy, Justin Turner, Will Smith. I mean, all of these guys could be at the All-Star game, but it's sick. It's absolutely sick. When you can dole out that amount of money, this is what your lineup should look like. And it's going to be tough. I mean, you can only, you lace up your cleats and get out there and do your best. But again, what they do have going for the Cardinals, riding a little momentum coming off of the series against the Phillies, winning the last 2. And then you don't have to face Kershaw or Urias, which is pretty good since they're a couple of dominant left-handers.
No kidding. You do make the argument, could make the argument that the Cardinals dominate lefties, but there aren't too many lefties around like Clayton Kershaw and Julio Urias. And you mentioned Buehler being on the IL as well. This is going to be a tough series. It's a good test, though. It's a great test because you want, like you said, the playoff teams want to play playoff teams. Or you want to have the ability to beat playoff teams. When you look around the schedule, too, it's not like the Phillies have it easy either. The Phillies have to play the Blue Jays today and tomorrow. Obviously, they're at Miami this weekend, but you got pretty comparable schedules for the first 2 days of the week. So you just got to go out and take advantage of it. You have to go out and prove that you're not a team that can only beat the Pirates and Reds. That's what it is, because they have beat up on the Pirates and Reds this season. It's time to show that you can beat other teams.
Yeah, and again, beating the Phillies the last couple nights, and especially getting a win against Nola last night, who's arguably their staff ace. Him and Wheeler go back and forth. So you've got this momentum. You got the bottom half of the lineup that's pretty excited about themselves right now, feeling good after a showing last night. And you'll have the big boys back in the lineup tonight. You'll have, Goldie will be in there. Arenado more than likely be back in the lineup. I don't know why he wouldn't be. So
could see oNeil too. You don't know.
That was what I was going to bring up, because we got some news about Tyler Broneal. So check this out. I got another prop for you today.
So many props on the YouTube. Love it. Ooh, that's an old number, too. That's a throwback. You got an oNeil 41 jersey for those listening on podcasting platforms. That's awesome.
So this is actually, it's not a jersey, though.
Towel. Okay.
This is his workout towel. It's not a dirty one. It's not a dirty one. So don't give me any grief about that. But so, outside of Busch Stadium, they had the store where you can buy like legit Cardinals. And when I was there visiting last time, they had these towels over there, and I was like, man, and I noticed the same thing. I was like, number 41. How old is this thing? How sweaty is this thing? And they're like, no. And they actually donate. The players say, hey, you guys can sell these. That's cool. And so I got me a Tyler Broneal one before the season even started, and it hasn't been the best of years so far for Tyler. We had a report yesterday. Derek Gould from the St. Louis Post-Dispatch said that oNeil's MRI revealed, now this sounds awful, a tear in a wrist flexor tendon near the pinky of his right hand. So you have this dark cloud that comes over like, oh my gosh, he's screwed, right? He's done. But then this thing lifts, and Jim Hayes reports last night on Bally Sports that oNeil was cleared for baseball activities. He was throwing. He took batting practice, took like 30 swings, and could be back very soon. Could be activated for the Dodgers series. That's a possibility. Also, Brendan Donovan, who had been under the weather, was feeling better yesterday, so we should see him back and playing with the team as early as tonight. It's a possibility. Could happen. So you're getting some of these guys back, which is good.
It is good. And the oNeil memory for me in the Dodgers series was that incredible catch last June of 2021 against Mookie Betts with runners on and everything. And, he made the catch up against the wall. Fans were yelling, and he was just screaming yes. So hopefully oNeil can come back against the Dodgers and recreate some of that magic. We also saw Flaherty on a bit of a downer note get transferred to the 60-day IL. Likely won't see him until after the trade deadline. Harrison Bader's plantar fasciitis, I think I'm pronouncing that right, isn't getting much better. We won't see him until after the All-Star break at least. So some good, some bad, but the good news is you're getting offense back.
Yeah, the Harrison Bader thing, we're okay. Carlson, he's doing okay there in center field. Has made some amazing plays over the last week, so he hasn't. Nobody's getting hurt in center field as far as defensive wise. So to get oNeil, another Gold Glover back in left field, and then you can just kind of do what you need to do with whoever's playing in right. Put your best foot forward. So excited to hear that oNeil's going to be back though, because it's a big piece in the lineup as far as speed and power that gives this lineup some length.
Absolutely. And we're running a little shorter on time, but we do want to talk about a weird rumor that came to fruition from John Morosi, saying that the Cardinals have checked in with the Nationals, among other teams, ahead of search of offense ahead of the trade deadline. In search of offense. Yes, search for offense, but from the Nationals? Josh
Send
Bell?
the tweet. No. Juan Soto will be a Cardinal by August 2nd.
Oh my god! You have to wonder, JD. Who are they? Again, you could make an argument that the Cardinals aren't going to go for the top guys; they're going to look for some middle of the ground person. But you also have to look at go big or go home. Sometimes, right? Do you drop an arm and a leg and a foot and another arm and more body parts for Juan Soto with the contract extension in the air? Do you go for a rental of Nelson Cruz? Do you get 2 40-plus-year-olds? On your team? What do you do? That rumor was so weird to me.
Yeah, it did make a lot of sense because when you go through their roster, it's Juan Soto, who you mentioned how difficult it would be to land him in the first place because you're going to have to give up. You would have to give up somebody like Jordan Walker, like you would
without
have to.
A doubt. Without a doubt.
They're not going to settle for anything less than your top person. So, and then Cruz, who can't play the field, has never really been able to play the field ever, so I don't know why another DH right-handed bat would make any sense. You mentioned how old he is, too. We already got Albert. We're fine. We don't need any more old 40-year-old right-handed hitters, okay? We're fine there. Then Josh Bell, who's going to be a big piece. People are going to want him. He's a switch hitter, big guy, having a great year, all-star caliber year. So I just feel like somebody else will give up more because we don't need a first baseman. We got that Goldschmidt guy sitting over there, so I don't know.
Probably okay.
I don't know who it would be that they'd be chasing offensive wise. I thought maybe a catcher, but I didn't see anything all that special on their roster. I don't know. I have no idea what they would want offensively. If it's Lane Thomas, though, I quit. I don't want him back. That ship has sailed. Let Lane enjoy his time in Washington. Yes. Go do your thing, Lane. I wish you the best, but I don't want him back in a Cardinal uniform. We don't need that.
No, all the more power to Lane, but you could stay out there. We'll take the month and a half, 2 months we got of Lester for Lane Thomas to prosper out in Washington. He's done some good things in Washington. Done some good things.
Yeah, he hasn't been bad.
But regardless, that was a weird rumor. It will likely not be the only rumor that surfaces over the next couple of weeks. It will not be the last rumor we discuss either here on the Locked On Cardinals podcast as we get closer to the All-Star game in a week's time over in Los Angeles. 4 Cardinals already are going. Could see more on the way with injuries or people dropping out, as well as a trade deadline just under 3 weeks. So plenty of content. We'll be talking more trades and all-star news on tomorrow's episode of Locked On Cardinals, as well as the game that is happening tonight. Maybe we'll see Neil come and make his way back to the roster. But regardless, we'll be breaking it down what happens, and likely the most offensive night of the series will probably happen tonight. So from JD and myself, I'm Lucas. Thanks for tuning in today, everybody. Be sure to stay safe, stay well. Have a fantastic rest of your day.